My Uber driver took a completely wrong route and wouldn't explain why. Then I saw the police lights ahead. I'm the kind of person who tracks every Uber ride on GPS. Not because I'm paranoid, just because I like knowing where I'm going. So when my driver turned left instead of right on Oakwood Avenue, I noticed immediately. I was heading home from a late shift at the restaurant, exhausted, smelling like fryer oil, just wanting my bed. The app clearly showed the fastest route was straight down Miller Street, but this guy was taking us deep into a residential neighborhood I'd never seen before. I leaned forward. Hey, I think you missed the turn back there. He glanced at me in the rearview mirror, said nothing, and kept driving. His name was Gerald, according to the app. 62 years old, gray beard, drove a silver Camry with a 4.3 rating. Not great, but not terrible. I figured maybe he knew a shortcut. Then he turned again, heading even further from my apartment, and my stomach started to knot. I pulled up the app to message support. My phone showed we were now 12 minutes away from my destination instead of the original 6. Sir, this isn't the right way. My voice came out sharper than I intended. Gerald adjusted his mirror but still didn't respond. His eyes flicked to something behind us, then back to the road. I twisted around to look through the rear window, but saw nothing except empty street. When I turned back, he was watching me in the mirror with an expression I couldn't read. Not threatening exactly, but intense, focused, like he was calculating something. I gripped my phone tighter and hovered my thumb over the emergency button. Every true crime podcast I'd ever listened to was screaming in my head. I started mentally cataloging details. Silver Camry, license plate I'd screenshot when I got in, Gerald with the gray beard who wouldn't speak. We drove for another 3 minutes in complete silence. I was about to call 911 when he finally spoke. I need you to stay calm and trust me for the next 5 minutes. His voice was surprisingly gentle, almost sad. What does that mean? I demanded. What's going on? He pulled onto Riverside Drive, a street I recognized but never took because it added 10 minutes to any route. There's a situation on Miller Street, he said carefully. I heard it on my scanner. He gestured to a small device mounted near his dashboard that I hadn't noticed before. What kind of situation? He didn't answer. We rounded a curve, and that's when I saw it. Police lights. Dozens of them. Red and blue strobing through the trees ahead, illuminating the night sky like some terrible carnival. Gerald pulled over to the side of the road, and we both stared as an ambulance screamed past us going the opposite direction. I fumbled with my phone and pulled up the local news app. The headline had just posted 3 minutes ago. Active shooter situation on Miller Street. Multiple casualties reported. Residents urged to avoid the area. My hands started shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone. Miller Street. The direct route. The route I would have been on exactly 8 minutes ago if Gerald had followed the GPS. I looked at him, really looked at him for the first time. His hands were gripping the steering wheel, knuckles white. His jaw was clenched tight. My daughter was a dispatcher for 15 years, he said quietly. I learned to keep a scanner in every car I drive. Heard the first shots called in right when I picked you up. He finally turned to face me. I couldn't explain because I didn't want you to panic. Sometimes panic makes people do stupid things, like demand to be let out. We sat there for 20 minutes while more emergency vehicles flew past. Gerald didn't start the meter again. He just waited, occasionally checking his scanner, giving me updates in that same calm voice. 4 injured, 1 confirmed dead, suspect in custody. When the road finally cleared, he took the long way around, adding another 15 minutes to the trip. I didn't complain. When we pulled up to my apartment, I tried to give him a cash tip. Everything in my wallet, maybe $60. He refused. Just get home safe, he said. That's enough. I gave him 5 stars and wrote a review explaining everything. The next morning, I called Uber's corporate office and told them the whole story. They said they'd flag his account for recognition. 3 weeks later, I got an email saying Gerald had been awarded their driver safety award and a $5,000 bonus. I cried reading it. I looked him up on the app again last month, hoping to request him specifically. His profile was gone. Retired, I guess. But I still think about him every time I get in an Uber.